Hey guys, Hitman Jaret here to do a short review of Dungeon Defenders, which is a successful indie game developed by Trendy Entertainment. It's sold about 250,000 copies already, and it was published by Reverb Publishing. There's been a few different versions of the game released. The first couple were called First Wave and Second Wave, which is for the iOS, I believe, on the iPhone. I haven't played those. What I'm playing is the PC version, which I purchased on Steam. My brother got the 4-pack, and it's been a lot of fun. It's a mix of an action RPG and a tower defense game where you're a specific class and you run around with a weapon and some class specific skills, as well as class specific towers that you can put down. And there's 4 other people in the game typically with all their own class specific stuff, so it can be kind of interesting. It's a good mix up of different stuff. It can make it interesting to try and combine different strategies and use different towers to take down the enemies. The enemies come from multiple different multiple locations around the map, usually doors the monsters will come through, and they head towards a crystal in the map that they're trying to destroy, and you're trying to defend the crystal with these towers and these skills and stuff like that. The classes in the game are apprentice, huntress, monk, and squire. There's also announced barbarian and series EV, which are supposed to be in DLCs coming up. The Jester is also rumored to be a class coming up, but it's not really officially announced yet, I don't believe. So the Apprentice is like a wizard kind of. It shoots magic missiles, lightning towers, fire towers, and other magical stuff. The Huntress is more of a ranged class. Uses a crossbow, I believe. The towers they use are more like traps, which they place down kind of like dynamite or something. And when the monsters get in range of it, they explode. They do a lot of damage, but they're but they're limited in quantity, so they're not quite as effective as something that. Well, they're still effective. It just takes a little bit more skill to use them. The monks are good at melee combat, and they're mixed with auras that buff players or harm enemies or confuse enemies, that type of thing. It's like an AoE type effect. The squire has excellent melee combat. It uses towers that are powerful against, or powerful in terms of stopping the enemy, slowing them down. They're large and they do a lot of damage. The game's kind of like crack, to be honest. It's really addictive. It's like tower defense games and other action RPGs and stuff that you've played. I'm sure you're well aware of how addictive they are. Some of the things that instigate that or attribute to that are leveling up, loot, skills, upgrades, upgradable towers, multiple difficulties, leaderboards, ranking, stats, multiple classes that you have to master. There's tons of loot in the game, tons of different types of gear, stats that you can upgrade. As you level up, you obviously become stronger. You get access to more skills, more towers. The loot in the game is pretty well done. It's one of the cool things I like about the loot is the fact that you can upgrade it. You can use the in-game currency to upgrade your armor or your pet. Even you can get pets in the game that you can upgrade, and as you upgrade them, they level up. And when your piece of gear levels up, you can put a point into one of the stats on the gear to make it a stronger stat. So I think that's really cool, unique type of feature that I haven't seen in very many action RPGs. So I like that a lot. The main balance of the game seems to come from mana, which is the in-game currency. It's basically the only currency in the game, it seems like. And as you level up, the max mana your player can have on him increases. And all the skills and purchasable towers and defenses in the game use this mana. And the mana is dropped from monsters or found in chests. And it's usually all over the place. It's not really short. You're not really short on it. There's another type of mana that you can get, which is you get from selling items. And that mana goes into your bank, which is used to purchase items in the in-game shop. Or the lobby shop, I guess I should call it. It's like a lobby in between matches you can go to. And there's a shop in there, and you can purchase pets. You can purchase items. And pets are basically other pieces of gear with stats on them that just fly around you, but some stats might be proprietary to pets. I'm not sure, like healing or something like that, but it's pretty they can do damage as well, so those are kind of neat. I kind of like mana being the only currency. It seems easy to keep track of. You don't really run short of it. Like I was saying, in a 4-player match, there's enough monsters around that drop enough mana where you're not really running short on it. You always have mana to spend. To avoid spamming towers in the game, it looks like developers put in a cost for using a defense item. For example, if you purchase and place down a tower, it uses, let's say, like 8 defense points, and the level may only allow for 80 defense points. So that can be a little annoying when you're playing with a bunch of players and you all want your own towers down, but you're out of defense points already. So you guys have to kind of choose who's going to get to put their tower down, because it's going to be the last one you're able to put down. And it adds to some strategy to the game, and it allows you to communicate with the other players in the game and kind of work things out and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if it's the best choice. I don't know. Maybe it would have been interesting to see if they would have given each player their own allocated defense points that they could spend however they wanted without having to worry about other players and their towers and things like that. But it works. The boss fights in the game are okay. They're kind of boring. There's a few simple mechanics like pulling a switch or shooting him behind him or something like that. But for the most part, it's just a click fest, and you're trying to heal yourself and stay alive. There's a lot of parts of the game that I haven't dived into yet or seen too much of, like any of the hardcore strategies. I haven't looked into armor resistances that much or other crap like that, but I'm playing a little bit more casually, but I'm pretty sure armor resistance play a big role when you get into the higher difficulties, maybe the challenge maps and things like that. But the bottom line is the game's fun. It's that's what counts. It's the multiple difficulties allow you to keep playing for multiple hours and not get bored. I still have yet to complete the game on the hardest difficulty. I haven't tried all the challenge maps yet. Plus, you can always go hunting for better gear for your character. That never gets old. Also, the game is moddable, which is a big plus. So I'm sure there'll be some cool mods coming out later on. Downloadable content is also going to be available soon. There's actually free downloadable content right now, like some free costumes or something like that. So I wouldn't say you could really go wrong for the $15 price. It's definitely worth the purchase, in my opinion. It's a good game. It's fun, and I'd say it's definitely worth it. However, if you are on the cheap side, I'm sure a couple more weeks, once the holiday sales start hitting, you're going to see it $10, maybe even $5 around Christmas or something. So if you want to wait till then, I'm sure it'll be cheaper. But I'd recommend just go ahead and purchasing it now and support the developers, because it's definitely worth it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and feel free, please comment or subscribe or like or